If you see a faded sign at the side of the road that says 15 miles to the...
Luv Shak. I'm your host, Dr. Love, Big Al.
And I'm your co-host, Charmin Charles. Good evening, Albert.
Good evening, Charles. And also with us is our guest host today, is Mr. Dyron Flynn. Welcome to the Luv Shak.
It's your pleasure to have me on there, sir.
Okay, it is. Hey, Charles.
Yes, sir.
We're going to interview Dyron Flynn here, and you got some questions you want to talk to us. I'll tell you what, if you want to get her started, my friend, I'll let you have the floor.
I sure will. All right, Dyron, good to have you here with us tonight. And when I get started, I'm going to ask you the first question I ask everybody. Fire away. How long have you been wrestling? What decided you to be a wrestler? And tell me your athletic background.
Well, I've been going at it for coming up on 4.5 years now. I've been a wrestling fan ever since I was a young kid, started off on and off. Got into it seriously about 2002, and then the one thing that pretty much set me wanting to be a professional wrestler was seeing the match Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle had at WrestleMania 21, and then from there I kind of started getting into old school tapes with Harley Race and Tully Blanchard, and just seeing the things guys like that did, I was hooked. That made me want to do it, and then right out of high school, I talked to a few people, found some training schools. Unfortunately, I didn't start out at the best one, but I was able to get out of there and go on to better myself from there.
Right. Now, let me ask you, who would you say was your primary trainer, Dyron?
Well, I've had quite a few that started off training me. There were guys like Mike Jablonski. Two guys I always hold near and dear to me were A.M. Vision and Anthony Cervantes, the visionaries of wrestling. And then, it was Tony Falk's wrestling school down in Nashville, so I guess you have to throw L.T. Falk into that as well.
Right, right.
From there, I've had the opportunity to go on and learn from guys like Dory Funk Jr., Pat Tanaka, Dutch Mantell, Tracy Smothers. There's been so many guys that I've had the opportunity to learn from, and it's helped mold me into who I am today. And there's been some guys on the independent level that may not be as well known as those guys, but should be. Guys like Jeremy Flint, Mike Promo, Richard Lowe, Derek Neal, so many guys like that have helped me. And, there's a bunch that I'm probably going to forget, and I don't mean to offend them, but so many people have helped me along the way that I just can't sit here and name them all.
Right. Well, Don, I know, like I've known you for a while now. I followed your career. We worked some of the same shows together over the years. And the thing is that impressed me about you, when you first got in this business, you wasn't the biggest guy, but all of a sudden, man, your heart's into it. You started working out. I guess the thing that I'm wanting to ask you is, how many hours a day are you staying in the gym? Because you're getting some size on you, young man.
Well, Charles, like you said, when I started out, I wasn't the biggest. I started out, honestly, at 140 pounds. I'm up to between 190 and 200 now. And, when I started out, I was working out, but I wasn't working out smart. I was going there just to do it. didn't have the right and proper diet. But now I've hooked up with some people that are helping me with that process. You know, your body's an investment. I've changed the way I'm eating, and I'm putting in anywhere from 2 to 3 hours at the gym 4 to 5 times a week. So I'm doing what I have to do to set myself apart from people on the independent scene that don't have that look and don't take it seriously, because I want to make it somewhere in this business unlike them.
Well, it certainly paid off for you, and hard work always prevails. Now, I noticed you've been working, you worked, I want to ask you something here, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but you were a full-time student, right?
Yes, sir, I was.
Plus, you're a manager of some sort of a business, is that right?
Yes, sir, that's true, too.
And you wrestle 5 nights a week. Well, how do you find time, did you find time to do all of that?
Well, honestly, I have to say that I've made a lot of sacrifices for it that I've never put out there to people. I've had to sacrifice time with my friends, with my family. I've sacrificed sleep. And the main thing, whether people acknowledge it or not, I have to thank my family for being there to support me for that. And then having guys like you that have been around the block and know this business like the back of their hand, that have that interest in me and have seen me grow and progress, just that keeps me driven, because with all the support my family gives me, I don't want them to feel like it's all for nothing. If I make it big somehow, even if I don't make it big, the fact of the matter is I do it for them, is my way of saying thank you for being there to support me for it.
Well, it certainly shows, like I said, that you worked real hard, and like I said, I've known you now, I've been following you, I guess, ever since you probably broke into the business. I remember the first time I met you, and the thing is, you were just wrestling local around here, like I said, for Tony Falk here in Nashville and wherever, and now you're wrestling 4 or 5 nights a week. Can you tell me some of the places you've been working?
Well, like in the last 3 months alone, I've been able to debut down in Georgia. I debuted in November for Empire Pro Wrestling out of Chatsworth, Georgia, I believe is what it's called. I'm doing Wednesdays in Elkmont, Alabama. I'm doing Thursdays in Nashville, Tennessee for NWA Main Event Wrestling. Fridays for SAW in Millersville. And then Saturdays I kind of hop around. It's either a spot show for NWA if they have one, FTW in anywhere in Middle and East Tennessee for Mike Promo, or Tennessee All Pro Wrestling, you know, down in McMinnville. Anywhere that there's a booking or anything where I can get my name out there, I'll take it and hop around. I'll travel as much as I can.
So you're out there to make and take opportunities, is that right?
Yes, sir, that's true.
Okay, let me ask you something. How do you find the talent, let's say, different from Nashville to Georgia? And I know you've been working in Indiana some in Evansville.
Yes, sir. I actually just started up there. That's one that slipped my mind, put on the spot. But the talent is always going to be different everywhere. Occasionally I'll see somebody that I know from another promotion, another city. But the one good thing that's about working these different territories is that, like, on a Wednesday night, I can have a match with a bigger guy like Yukon Jack. Then on Thursday, I can go and have a faster-paced match with a guy like Stephen Green in Nashville. Then, like, let's take my debut in Indiana, for example. I can show up there and be thrown right in with 3 of the best in this business, Flash Flanagan, Doug Gilbert, and Wildfire Tommy Rich, and have a different style match. Basically, the fact that I'm getting out there with all these diverse styles is helping me shape my own style to where I'm so well adapted I can pretty much go in there and hold my own with anybody from any promotion.
Well, you can certainly do that. Darren, like I said, I've known you now and watched your career blossom. I don't always agree with some of your techniques and your tactics, but, you know, I guess whatever it takes to get there, which leads me to my next question. Now, you have debuted at NSW in Evansville, Indiana, New Focus Wrestling. You're a part, looks to me like you're a part of a group called the Rich Revolution. Would you mind touching down on that for me?
Well, the main thing for me coming to NFW and joining the Rich Revolution is opportunity. I see he's in there. Master Rich has his feud going on right now with one of the guys that has been somewhere I want to be. He's in there with Rob Conway. Master Rich has worked with, I've looked at all the past flyers. I've seen everything. He's worked with guys like Nick Dinsmore, Big Daddy V. Visser. He's worked with all of them. He's working with all these guys that have had these opportunities. And I see joining forces with him as a chance to get my name in there for those opportunities, to have matches with the people that have been where I want to be. And I feel like it's a chance for me to showcase myself as a younger talent. And I think Rich sees that. So I think that's why he took the interest in asking me if I wanted to join. And I plan on taking full advantage of that and making sure he doesn't regret that choice.
Well, so what you're telling me is you are an opportunist, and you saw something, and you were glad to be a part of it, and you plan on staying with it till the proverbial cows come home. Is that right?
I plan on taking full advantage of it, and anything I have to do to make that work for me, I will take it. You've seen that with how I conduct myself in my matches. Like you said, you don't agree with a lot of things I do, but at the end of the day, it's what gets the job done, and if getting the job done in the Rich Revolution is what it takes, it's going to happen.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I've known, I don't know if you know this or not, but I started out with Master Rich. I knew Master Rich when he first broke into the business, and like yourself, he was an eager young man. He was willing to do whatever it took, and he listened, he paid attention, and now he is very focused, I'll say that. But he's like a bloodthirsty animal that I don't even know anymore. He will stop at no length to get anywhere he wants to go. Is it safe in saying that you've got his back and that you're in the same mode as him?
It's a cutthroat business, and if that's what it takes, if him getting to the top is going to help me get to the top, you better believe I'm going to have his back on everything he needs me to do.
So you think right now this is the right choice for you?
With the caliber of talent he's in there with, he's got going against him, it's going to do nothing but benefit me to have my name associated with. And if I get the chance to take one of those guys out, you better believe I'm going to do it just to make that name for myself.
Well, I'm going to ask you this, and I would appreciate a straight-up answer on this. So that means to tell me that you'll protect him. Is that right? That you could be like a henchman?
Without a doubt, I'll do for him what Arn Anderson did for Ric Flair. If I have to be his enforcer, so be it. I may not be the biggest dog in the fight, but I'll put up everything I got to make sure they go through me before they get to him, and they may not even get to him.
Well, that's mighty powerful words. Like I said, I know that you're a dedicated young man just like him, but I sure hope you know what you're getting yourself into. You know, he was on here, was it last week he was on here, Albert, am I right?
Yeah.
And he refers to himself as the father, and that you guys being his children, his flock. Is that what you want to be? Is that what you want to be referred to as a flock? I mean, his children? Or has he got this kind of spell over you, or what? Explain to me why. I know you say there's opportunities, but is it worth all this?
Unless you're in there on the inside with it, you'll never see it the way we do. Everybody has a different name for it. You can call it a cult following. You can call it this. You can call it that. But at the end of the day, what's good for him is good for us. If he's benefiting from it, we're all benefiting. If he suffers, we suffer together. You may call it a cult following. You may call it a flock. He calls himself the father. Then that's it. We're his children. We follow him. He's getting these opportunities to work these guys, so he must know what he's doing. And if that's the case, it's going to do nothing but benefit us. Call it whatever you want. He can call it whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, we know who to listen to, and that's all that's going to benefit us.
Well, I tell you what, he certainly has got something over you guys. I mean, you know, that, and he is successful with it, and like I said, you came right in, and you're gung-ho with it. I do believe, and it's growing all the time. I'm a firm believer in strength by numbers, and boy, it's it's growing daily. Now, I want to ask you something, and then I know Albert wants to touch down on this, but the Rumble that we're going to have, the World Title Rumble or Heavyweight Rumble, I can't never get, correct me, Albert, what is this called? I'm so sorry.
It's NFW Title Rumble.
Title Rumble, there you go. Now, how do you feel about that? I mean, you're going to be battling.
numbers in there, it's going to do nothing but benefit us. And if it comes down to it, and he wants me to eliminate myself from the Rumble, if it comes down to me and Master Rich, so be it. I'll be more than happy to do it because I know with him as champion, we'll be in a good place. If for some reason he has the decision made that he wants that title on me, I'll be more than happy to step into that position and fill those shoes and carry that company on my back just like he's done. I have no problem eliminating myself for the greater good if that's him winning the title. I have no problem throwing somebody else out of the Rumble if that's what he wants. It doesn't matter the size. I'll find a way to outthink somebody to get them out of that Rumble. Because they call me the intellectually defined athlete. And I've said it before, it doesn't matter if it's a big man, if it's a little man. It's not a big man sport anymore. It's a thinking man sport. And that's why Rich has me with him. I can benefit him. Like I said, I will watch his back in that Rumble, and it doesn't matter the size of the opponent. If he wants them out, they're out.
Well, you certainly are dedicated. Like I said, I don't know what he's got over you guys, but it sure is working. And all I can say is he's lucky to have a young man like you in his corner. And like I said, nobody sell Rich short for 1 minute because, like I said, he's hungry. He was hungry when he started out, just like you, Darren. You're hungry right now. You just committed. You'll go through anybody, anything to get to where you got to go. And that's what this business is about. Now, the next thing is, I'm going to turn this over to Albert for right now. You also have a match that night, and I think Albert knows the young man that you're going to be wrestling very well. Albert, would you like to step in right now?
I sure would, Charles. I sure would. Now, Dyron, you know, March 24th, Reckless Revenge at the Metro Sports Center. We've got all kinds of matches, and we got the Rumble, plus also you're in a match against the Canadian Kid. Now, you know, he's high-flying, he can move, he's fast. Give us your thoughts on that match with you against the Kid.
You know, the thing is, he can go out there, he can fly with the best of them. It doesn't matter. What people don't give me credit for is that I can fly too. You may not see it as often with me as you will with him, and it may not be as flashy, but I will ground him. I don't have to use the high flying. I'll be the technical base to his high flying. The second he tries to fly, I'll take him right down and keep him on the mat.
Okay. Now also, going back to the Rumble, the NFW title Rumble, you got guys there like Rob Conway, Flash Flanagan, Vic the Bruiser. You got guys that are fast, guys that are mean, tough, strong, and so give us the thoughts. What do you think the outcome would be on that match? Do you see yourself in the final as even winning or having a good chance of winning this at all?
That's a good question, and there's so many things that can determine that. But like I said, I'll use my wit to make sure I get to the end. They don't call me a one-man workhorse for nothing. It doesn't matter the size of a guy like Vic the Bruiser. If I can use his momentum against him, right over the ropes. Doesn't matter if it's a guy like Rob Conway. $1 million body, probably a 10-cent brain. Easy to get rid of. I can outmaneuver anybody in that ring. People don't give me credit for that because of the way I look. I may not have a perfect physique, but I've got the perfect brain for wrestling, and I promise, you put anybody in there with me, I can get them over the top rope.
I'll tell you what, your attitude, I mean, you've got that go-get-'em attitude. I give you that much credit, so I want to wish you the best of luck in the Rumble. I want to wish you the best of luck against the Kid, and looking forward to seeing you there on March 24th to see what you can do. And I'll tell you what, the NFW Nation will be watching this, so do you have anything you want to tell the NFW Nation before Charles spreads love and wraps it up?
Only thing I want to say is, every time those people pay a ticket now to come to an NFW show, they have the opportunity to see somebody. But you hear all the promotion about Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton being the youngest heavyweight champions in the business. That's not true. At 20 years old, I was the youngest heavyweight champion in the business at 165 pounds. NFW can boast the fact that they have the youngest heavyweight champion of all time in professional wrestling on their show. They can boast that they have a #1 contender for the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship on their show. They can boast that they have an intellectually defined athlete, a one-man workhorse. They can boast that they have Mr. Old School on their show, and that every time he comes through that curtain and steps in the ring, he will give them a show, whether it's beating one of their fan favorites or taking down somebody that they may not like, it doesn't matter whether they boo me or they cheer me. They're going to see everything that I have, and that they will always know who the better competitor is.
Okay. Again, Dyron, I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate your views and like I said, your talent. You're a great athlete, and like I wish you the best of luck at March 24th at Reckless Revenge at the Metro Sports Center in Evansville, Indiana. So I'll tell you what, Charles, you have anything before you spread the love?
I sure do, Al. I want to say, man, that I know your sweetie, Miss Penny. I know she lost her mom here a couple days ago, and I want to send out my condolences to you and her family. And you know, I only met her mom one time, but I got to say this: she was one of the most loving people that I ever met.
Yeah.
We talked about 45 minutes that night, Albert, if you remember.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And she was a big wrestling fan, and I know, man, that she's up, you know, up there now, and she's enjoying herself. And,
well, I know.
And you know, I just, like I said, I want to send out my condolences to you and Penny, and all like that. And I'm sure she's up there watching a big match right now.
Yeah. I thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it, and I'll relay that to Penny. You should be glad to hear that. So,
and also, I got one question for Dyron before you. Dyron, you still there with us, my friend?
Fire away, sir.
Okay, you were talking a while ago. Now, you were talking about you were the youngest champion. Is this true of me asking? You have a title shot this week at the NWA title somewhere, or next week?
This Thursday, I'm in a last man standing match for the NWA Mid-American X Division title, and then the Friday right after, this coming Friday, February 3rd, I've got a shot at whoever wins between Sean Schultz and Kevin Douglas for the NWA World Junior Championship.
Wow, well, my friend, that's, you know, you've been a scrapping to get where you got, and that's a good honor to just even to be able to compete in that. I do wish you all luck. Like I said, I don't agree with you a lot on what you do. A little unorthodox style there sometimes, but you are an athlete, my friend, and hopefully it'll prevail for you. And good luck in your matches, and we'll see you in the NSW.
Well, I appreciate that, Charles.
all right, Charles, are you ready to spread the love?
Buddy, I'm like Gunga Din. I'm hanging in, ready to go. Woo-hoo!
Okay.
Forget NFW Nation. Don't fight amongst yourself. Let us do that. What you need to do is spread the love. See ya!
All right, see you later.
If you see a faded sign at the side of the road that says 15 miles to the